Fortnite hid tapes in the game, literally showing what is going on in Sunday's live event. We're about to explain the exact meaning. I am here with Shadical, a huge fan of the Visitor. He knows exactly what is going on. Later on in the video, I show 2 unreleased tapes that are still encrypted and not inside of the game yet. I explain all of them. You don't want to miss this. These are the 2 most extremely important ones. Like and subscribe or you'll miss the Season X live event. Pressing E to interact right here. The Visitor is literally talking. It is encrypted. You can't understand what is going on, but I found tapes throughout the Fortnite map with the Visitor literally talking, telling us exactly what he's doing on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to do is find all of these tapes and explain in detail exactly what he is going to do. They are hidden around the map. Nobody knows where they are. I'm about to find them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, these tapes are the first audio clips we have ever heard of the Visitor talking. What he actually told us in these clips will blow your minds because now I know exactly what he's doing in Sunday's live event. You need to pay very, very close attention to each of the tapes because this will blow your mind. Let's find the tapes right now. We are finally finding everything out. This all relates to the Visitor and the rocket itself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the first tape. It's time to explain it.
7 of us are attempting is very risky. I suspect they are not the only ones watching, but it must be done or we lose the bridge forever.
The 7 of us attempting something extremely risky. The 7 of us is referring to 7 versions of the Visitor. There are 7 rift zones for 7 visitors, and what they are doing risky is launching the rocket and this entire live event on Sunday. But it must be done or we will lose the bridge forever. Obviously, we know that there is some sort of transportation to the brand new Fortnite map on Sunday. Losing the bridge forever is almost like a symbol of us losing the way to the brand new Fortnite map. Let's go to the next tape.
Will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others? No matter. It seems the lengthy precautions worked.
When I hear this again, will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others? No matter. It seems the lengthy precautions worked. Ladies and gentlemen, the Visitor is referring to himself. The fact that he is able to talk, he is the only version of the Visitor actually able to talk. He is one of the 7, and he is the only one. Not only am I showing all of these tapes, but I also found 2 encrypted tapes that are not inside of the game yet. They are completely leaked. You don't want to miss this. I show them all inside of this video. I am the first one to do it. You don't want to miss this. We obviously know we're going through a time loop right now, and the Visitor, if he didn't put these tapes throughout the Fortnite map, he wouldn't be able to remember exactly what's going on. The tapes help him remember that he is in a time loop, and without these tapes, he would forget and he would be muted just like the other visitors. No matter, it seems the lengthy precautions worked. The Visitor is saying it was a success. These tapes are literally from Season 4, the Visitor coming back through time, and this all relates to Sunday's live event because the Visitor finally is successful and he is able to understand the time loop that he is going through.
The Black Theorem was a success. You arrived outside the loop at the exact moment of expansion. This effectively paused the singularity, giving us time to create the devices needed to synchronize the junction.
With knowing all of these tapes, Shadical and I are about to explain literally everything going on in this Season X live event. There is so much more that we just discovered using these tapes from the Visitor himself. We didn't know half of this stuff that we are about to explain, all thanks to the Visitor hiding these tapes throughout the map. We are about to get into it right now. Here we go.
So pretty much all it's saying here is that the Visitor actually figured out a way to get himself out of the time loop, which is the theorem itself. So he got himself out of the time loop, and just after this, and if time were to continue normally, the 0 point would actually explode, and that's what's going to happen when the counter hits 0. So when the countdown hits 0, time will effectively start moving again, and it's pretty much like pressing the unpause button on the entire universe, which means that the 0 point will expand. We're all gonna get sucked into it, and since the Visitor rocket has a virus, it's actually not gonna be able to do its job properly, which means the 0 point and everything we know in the entire Fortnite universe might be destroyed.
That is what is absolutely crazy, because obviously what it does say in the tape is that the singularity is temporarily paused, which is exactly what Shadical mentioned, because for those of you who don't know, the singularity is also known as the 0 point. Once time resumes, the 0 point expands, things are going to end bad. This is all going to be happening in the live event. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go over the 2 encrypted tapes that nobody knows about. Here we go. As you can see, the first one, activate the beacon at precisely the moment this timer reaches nothing. The 0 point must be contained once more. If they are correct, it will be the end. Activate the beacon. We most likely don't know what the beacon is yet. It is going to be something we are going to be seeing later on. Obviously, this is a tape for the visitor, not us. It's a note for himself to do something. And what I am most likely thinking is that the beacon is part of the rocket. We are activating the rocket itself the moment the countdown timer of the live event reaches nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, so the beacon is the rocket itself. He is activating the rocket in hopes to stabilize everything and save the map. There is a part on the rocket that looks exactly like the beacon, and that is how we know that the visitor is activating the beacon, which is basically the rocket. The 0 point must be contained once more. If they are correct, it will be the end.
So when the visitor says the 0 point must be contained once more, originally when in season 6 we saw the 0 point before when it was with the other 0 points inside the vault. Now what happened was obviously the monster and the mech were fighting over the 0 point. The mech used its power to destroy the monster, but doing that, it took it out of the vault, which is really bad because it's unstable and it could possibly lead to the end of the universe. And it says if they are correct, it will be the end. And the they here is actually the 7. The 7 knew that the 0 point was gonna be an issue. They saw how powerful it was. And imagine if one of them exploded. Imagine what would happen if all of them exploded. The 7 knew about this and tried to stop it and contain it, but obviously they got caught in a time loop, and now it might be too late.
This is absolutely crazy. Let's get into the final encrypted tape, which might be the most important one. This is crazy. What I didn't factor was that the only way to trigger the device was from within the loop itself. Thus this hasty and primitive recording. And why now I find myself looped.
So pretty much the visitor found out that he can't activate the rocket unless he's inside the loop. Now the loop can be one of two things. It's either the area, the Fortnite island itself, or inside the 0 point. And there are some leaks saying that the rocket and all of us are getting sucked into the 0 point. So it's probably inside. So what the visitor had to do is activate it inside the 0 point, and pretty much that's why he's talking to himself, saying you and I, pretty much speaking to himself, saying that that's the only way to stop the time loop. Now the other option is that we are actually inside the time loop right now. Every time the 0 point explodes, we get sent back to season 4 when the visitor originally arrived down into the island. But now it's even worse because now the visitor's looped along with us, so he can't even help us. His friends can't help him. The only way that we can save the timeline pretty much is through using the tapes. The only way the visitor can save the timeline is using the tapes and building all the rift beacons and possibly destroying the 0 point himself from the inside.
The tapes allow him to kind of jog his memory, understand exactly what was going on, and for him to not forget. This is going to be the craziest Fortnite live event we have ever witnessed. Subscribe for more news, for more leaks. This is going to be crazy.